Alright, what's going on, guys? Try back again. Here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my monthly review, or maybe I should say bi-weekly review of the Walking Dead comic book series. Today, Walking Dead issue 115 was released, which is part 1 of 12 of the two-part or combined story arc, All Out War. Okay, awesome. So this marks 10 years since the Walking Dead comic book series started, and it's still going strong. As always, my reviews do contain spoilers, so for anyone who has not read issue 115 yet, or is not at least caught up to, current status on the Walking Dead comic book series, this will contain spoilers, so you may or may not want to watch the review. So, this month's issue. Well, I mean, I was really excited for the All Out War story arc to begin. I think that overall Negan is the definitive Walking Dead villain up until this point. I do think that in the comic book series, Negan is a better villain than the Governor. I think he's more exciting than the Governor. I think he's funnier than the Governor. I think he has more interesting dynamics, and his style and what he's accomplished so far in the zombie apocalypse is much greater than the Governor with just Woodbury, where Negan actually has several communities that feed up to him like some kind of zombie apocalypse mob boss. And I do think that's pretty funny, for their protection. They will pay him, resources or whatever really he wants in order to stay alive so that he doesn't just wipe them all out. So, of course, as we've seen in the past year of the comic book series, Rick is not going to go along with that for very long. We meet Ezekiel, we meet Paul, Jesus, Monroe, and these characters from different communities. So we have the Hilltop, we have Rick's group, the Survivors, and then we have the Kingdom with Ezekiel and his tiger Shiva, and then we have, who's fun, and then we have the Saviors with Negan. So now we're starting to see the kickoff, so to speak, of the war starting, and Rick and the combined three communities, Hilltop, or at least some of the Hilltop, most of the Kingdom, and his own group, the Survivors, are attacking the Survivor's home, or Negan's, factory or warehouse or whatever it is, whatever you want to call that, that he's got set up there. So right there in and of itself, I mean, these issues are going to be really exciting, I think. Now, this one here, there's no action in it because it's just the kickoff. We start off the issue, and basically you have Rick and Andrea, and they're waking up and getting started for the day. They talk about how they're nervous and how this is like basically the biggest thing that they've been involved with so far. They've never been involved in a battle or a war of this magnitude. The biggest one they would have been with was for the prison against the Governor, and they did lose that battle. So in this instance, they're taking the offensive, and they're the ones who are going to be attacking. So obviously there's some jitters there. And then basically, Andrea just consoles Rick and gets him ready to go. And then he's ready to rock. And then we cut over to Michonne with her and Ezekiel, who are now sleeping together. And so, pretty funny line there when Ezekiel says that his tiger Shiva crapped in the bathtub, but he cleaned it up. Just kind of funny. I can't wait to see how the tiger is illustrated, ripping apart some of Negan's men, and just some of the different things that's bound to happen with that. If maybe, because a tiger, when you have a gun, right, if you're fighting in a war like that, a tiger is actually, even though ferocious and scary, really scary, and wouldn't be someone you want to mess with. At the same time, though, if you have, automatics or semi-automatic guns and stuff like that, it's a big target. Now I granted a tiger could probably take a couple shots, right? But before you'd kill it. But if you hit it in the head, then it's over, right? So that'll be fun to see what happens with that. And also in the future, I don't know how they're going to bring a tiger into the TV series if they bring Ezekiel in. They may have to scratch that out and not even have him have a tiger at all, because I don't know how they could do that on a TV series budget. Anyway, kind of something aside. I like the tiger. I think it's funny. I like Ezekiel. He's a cool character. Michonne finally has a reason to keep killing zombies and keep doing what she's doing, so that's all good stuff. And basically, the best part of this issue is when they all roll up and there's this huge splash page of Rick and the gang after Rick gives a speech and some things like that. But then you have Rick and the gang and everybody from all the different communities, and then he shoots off two shells with his gun and basically calls out Negan right outside of his gates. And it looks like it's dark, so Negan had no idea that he was coming. And then his reaction is, "You got to be effing kidding me!" And then they go back and forth a little bit with Rick telling Negan that they'll give him an opportunity to surrender, and no one inside his community will be hurt if he does so, because it seems like they have him well outnumbered at this point, and they're going to be able to pretty much take him down, it seems like, at this point. And then obviously Negan refuses, he's not going to surrender, and he turns the tables a little bit, kind of, with having the leader of the Hilltop there, or the cowardly leader there, who refuses to fight back against him. Gregory is his name. And so basically Negan threatens to kill their families if they don't go back home right then and there while this is all going on. So that's interesting. We'll see what happens with that. It's sort of his strategy, because it seems like he does know that they're coming, but he didn't figure that they would show up in that number, that there'd be so many of Rick and the group, there'd be so many of them, and that he's somewhat prepared. So, and I do like at the beginning of the issue that Rick does acknowledge that in a war you're going to have casualties on both sides regardless, right? So very exciting first issue, very exciting kickoff to the whole war thing. I think that this story arc right here may be the best in all of The Walking Dead, to see how this all plays out, and to see what kind of character deaths we're going to get on Rick's side. Who's going to die from his group? Is there anybody who's been there for a long time? We know Maggie is at the Hilltop, so maybe her. Some of the characters that are back at the survivors camp, Andrea and Carl there, we know that. So we'll see how that all plays out. Obviously, if it's going to be 12 parts, it can't be as simple as them just storming Negan's factory, getting him and putting him down. It's not going to be that easy. There's got to be more to it than that if it's going to be that many issues. Plus, it's such an epic conclusion of all the chapters we've had recently. Because if you think about it, after they leave the prison, they find the safe zone, they deal with some things at the safe zone with a horde of walkers, or a ton of zombies, some other problems that they've had. The next big thing was Negan after that. So we'll see how it all gets wrapped up. I am really excited to see the rest of, or read, I guess, the rest of All Out War. I'm going to give this issue a 9 out of 10. It does exactly what it should. It just gets us started, ready, amped up, and in position for all this good stuff to go down. It really seems like to this one, I think what's going to happen, to do some predictions. I believe the next issue comes out in 2 weeks, so that'll be good. So I'll review that the day it's released, 2 weeks from today, Wednesday. So it seems like to me, probably what's going to happen, to do some predictions, is I think Rick and his group are going to attack. Maybe they'll send, a couple groups back out of that portion to try to make sure that the communities are safe, because it seems like they took a lot of members out. And then we'll see what happens. Negan obviously can't die right now, so even if they storm his place, he may have to take off and just run. Get in some cars and go out the back or something, or whatever, because it can't be that easy for them to just take him down right then and there. So overall, love the issue. Thought it was really fun, really exciting. My favorite splash page, definitely the Blam Blam page, where you see Rick and everybody, and they're all lined up, and it's all dark around. So I really, really like that one. Anyway, let me know what you guys thought about this month's issue, or I guess this bi-weekly issue of The Walking Dead, how excited you are for the all-out war, and what you think is going to happen, who you think is going to die. That's pretty much all I got to say about this week's issue in terms of The Walking Dead comic book series. I'll see you guys again in 2 weeks. And of course, the big premiere this weekend, The Walking Dead television series starts back up again with Season 4. I cannot wait. Anyway, I'll call it here. That's it for this video, guys. I'll see you for the next one. This is Trev. And as always, stay in peace.